Does it feel like you have a million files just scattered everywhere? Let's look at some ways of moving, renaming, and just organizing your files. So there's a logic to it, which makes your files so much easier to find when you need them. Check out the segment from my Google Drive workshop. This is one way to think about organizing your files. If you've got a ton of files, and sometimes it gets hard just to pick a place to start. It's like you have a party, the next day there's stuff everywhere and you don't even know where to start. You might go back to bed, but you eventually got to go in there and pick up that first glass and do something with it. And you put it somewhere, dishwasher, garbage, wherever, cabinet, wherever it needs to go. So, but you have places to put that glass, some organization. With your files and your data, this is one way I recommend thinking about it. Your pillars, your buckets, specific projects, and pipelines, activities. So your pillars are your foundations of your business. And right now we'll talk about business, but you can use this for your personal life. I do too. The hats that you wear, or the titles that you might have, or you give yourself, or the departments that you would, create. These are the pillars of your business. And you create that first level of files based on your pillars. Clients, probably for all of us, is a good pillar. You might have marketing, admin, finance. If you're doing a lot of videos. If you do a lot of catering, you might have one for just food and recipes. Do what works for you. There's no complete, right way, but this is just a framework just to kind of get you started if you're stuck. And use names that mean something to you. In fact, they could be fun. I mean, instead of clients, you could do something like, people who pay me. But this first level is about the parts of your business that are the core, that are not going to change.
You know what I also do, and I don't know if you're going to mention this, Tracy, but
Yeah.
this has helped me a lot because of all the files. Because Google Drive I think it defaults either to recent or alphabetical, right? And if you look at your examples of clients, marketing, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
I put a number in front of them because the number is always defaulted to the top. So
Okay.
I would put a number, especially if there's folders that you use all the time and you don't want to
Mm-hmm.
have to search through if you have like 20, 30 folders.
Mm-hmm.
So I would put a number like clients would be number one, marketing would be number one client, number two marketing. And the Google Drive default will always put those folders up front because if it's in alphabetical order, numbers come first, I think.
Yep. So we'll do that when we create some folders in. That I love that. That is a great idea. I like that. The next pillar is, I'm sorry, the next level are buckets. So within the pillars, I would create buckets, and those are specific areas within the pillar. So with clients, it might be your client names, or you could do past clients. For videos, I might put some buckets, the things that I'm doing with my videos. Some of my videos are conversations, some of my videos are solutions. Make buckets, make areas within that pillar. Uh, the buckets, it's going to be something that probably has a name, and it might be something, it's a project, it's something that could last, or it's something that might be going away. Your pillars don't go away. Your buckets, they may come and go. For finance, I might have a bucket for of taxes, a bucket for of bank statements. But your buckets are areas. And lastly, the last level, just 3 levels, pipelines. These are things that have a time frame, that you're working through an activity. So under clients, under my one client, I might have a folder for invoices because that's an active thing, because I better be invoicing them because I want my money. I might have a folder under my client for the current project that we're working on. For videos, as you see, I might have different folders for active things that I'm doing actively, creating tutorials, I'm doing product reviews. Make it make sense to you, but this is, again, it's just kind of a framework to get your head around organizing, or at least to get started. So going back, let's put this in action. In my drive, I've got a bunch of files. The first step, actually, and the first thing you want to do, I say go through file at a time, one file at a time. Look at the file. Do I recognize it? Can I tell what's in this file? This file, I cannot tell what's in this file. It's untitled. And this happens a lot with people especially who are new to using Google Docs. I don't know what's in this file. So open it, see what's in the file, and give it a better name. In Google Drive, when you double click something, that opens it. One click, you're just going to select it to move it around or to change something. But let's double click this. I've opened the file. I'm going to say, this is what we do often. Let's say I've been in Gemini. I'm in AI, and I got a great entry from AI. I'm going to copy that and paste it into my Google Doc. And now we are going to give it a name. By default, when you click in this name area, Google will give it the name, the first line. It will put a name in there, whatever the first line is that you typed in. And before I changed it, this was the first line. But I'm going to change this to something that I can recognize 6 months later. If I happen to look at this, ideas for script. Give your files good names. Give them long names. You can put numbers in there, symbols are not a good idea, especially if you're going to share files in other file systems, because not all file systems can read question marks or slashes the right way. But names, give it as long a name as you want, something descriptive that you will recognize again 6 months later. And just click away. That name is saved. This file is saved. Like I said, Google saves, I think, like I said, it's every 3 or 5 seconds it saves your document. I'm going to close this and go back to my drive. And there's that file that I just created. I'm going to create now someplace for it to go. Now I do recognize, I know what this file is. Let me put it in a folder. I'm going to create a folder. New and new folder. I'm going to call this, I'm going to name it. So with the folders, start with the pillars. I would only start with the pillars. Those next levels, buckets and pipelines, you can get to that later. Just start with pillars. I'm going to call this one video. This is my pillar because I create a lot of videos now. Created a folder. The folders are float to the top of the list. Now I'm going to, let's see, I just sorted it alphabetically, and I'm going to sort it again. It keeps the folders at the top, and the rest are your files. How can you tell? Because folders have a little icon that look like a folder. That file that I just created now has gone away alphabetically. So I'm going to click here over here, a date, and sort it again to find that file that I just created, that one from Gemini, the AI document. So I clicked over here on the side, date modified. It's sorting the files by date, by time. This is the file I just created. I want to move this to the video file. There's more than one way. I'm not going to show you drag and drop because that can get tricky if you're not careful. It's a fine way to move it, but this way that I'm going to show you is you are not likely to mess it up. Right click on the file name. You get a right click menu. Organize and move. Google is going to ask, where do you want to move it to? I want to move it to this folder, video. Move to there. The other reason why I tell you to use right click, because that works in other file systems. Windows, Apple, Dropbox. When you right click on a file, you will get a menu that will give you choices. Here's a video outline. That looks like that should go in the video folder. So first I look at a file. Do I recognize the file? Yes, I know what that is. Where should it go? I have a pillar already created for video. I'm going to right click, organize, move. I'm going to share a PDF in the share in the comments. We're going to put a link. We were supposed to do that earlier. A link to a PDF that is the outline for this and how to do and the steps that I'm doing to rename and move files.
I think it's already shared. Someone shared it.
Oh, we did? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Tech Assistant Trendy, I think.
Yes. Good. Excellent. So
is that a person?
Yes, it's a person. It's a person who's sitting next to me.
Okay.
I'm going to create one more folder, new folder. Call this one marketing. Oops.
How did you create the folder? Can you do that again?
Absolutely. In fact, I'm going to delete this one. So to delete something, You click on it one time, and the simplest way is just to hit the delete key on your keyboard. So I'm going to delete that. And you see folder move to trash. So if I wanted it back, I could. To create a folder, click new, upper left corner, new folder.
Okay.
Very first item. Immediately a box pops up for you to name it. And create. And like I said, the folders stay on the top of the list. I've got some flyers. I see this is a flyer, this is a flyer, this is a flyer. I want to move all of those into the marketing folder. I'm going to do all three of them at one time because one at a time, that sucks. But we can do more than one file. Michelle knows this. Using our keyboard. I'm going to click on the first file that I want to select. Then before I click on the next file I want to select, I'm going to press the control key on the keyboard. So I clicked on the first file. I'm holding down the control key on the keyboard. I'm clicking on the next file that I want to select, the next file I want to select. So I've got three things selected. I'm going to right click over one of those things that I have selected and click organize, click move. And I want to put it in the marketing folder. So I'm going to click on that folder and click move. I'm going to open the marketing folder. Here, we're going to double check. So I double click on marketing and see it showing me those three files that I just moved over there. Now, I back here in the address bar, I wanted to get out of marketing. So I go back, I click my drive up here, or I can click my drive on the side to get back to the root level, the core of Google Drive, of my Google Drive. This marketing folder, let's say I want to share some of that with my other Google profile. If you want to work through any particular section of this video, or ask me questions, or even work with me in real time, come join my community, The Confident Click. The link is down in the description and in the comments. Think of it as a help desk for you and your business. This is a space where you can ask all of the questions you've been reluctant to ask and get straightforward, clear answers. No noise, no overwhelm. Just clear tools and support when you need it. See the link in the description or in the comments, or come look for me in skool.com. That's SKOOL.